This is the Crisscross Show. I'm back this week, a day late than last week, but I am back with my NBA rankings. I'm very, very excited. There's some teams that left the top 10 and there's some teams that have entered the top 10. Again, this is based off of the top 10 teams if the season were to end today. Anyways, enjoy. Okay, so I've had a couple of teams leave and a couple of teams enter the top 10 list for this week. So again, number 10, the 10th best team in the NBA right now is the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets last week had a 4-0 week, even though the teams they did beat aren't necessarily in the top 10. The Charlotte Hornets are playing great basketball. LaMelo Ball has been playing beautifully. Terry Rozier has been playing amazing. And Gordon Hayward is falling in line with the whole system. I do give Charlotte some credit. They did start off a little slow, obviously implementing a couple new players. The LaMelo Ball drama, again, a big NBA draft rookie coming in. Obviously, there's going to be some drama. So Charlotte's hung on pretty well. 4-0 week last week. So they are number 10. Number 9, the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, before they postponed their 3 previous games, they were 4-0. They were obviously trending up. They were going to make my list regardless. They haven't played since January 8th, which is also a problem. So again, it's going to be interesting to see when they all come back and they start playing again, how well they're going to play. So Boston will take number 9 because, again, of a 4-0 previous week, and obviously they were trending up. Number 8, the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are new to this top 10, similarly to Boston and Charlotte. Utah had a 3-0 week last week. They did beat the Milwaukee Bucks, who are also in the top 10. A great week. They've been kind of, clicking on all cylinders. They've been playing really, really great basketball. So the Utah Jazz are number 8. Number 7, the Portland Trail Blazers. Again, a 3-0 week for them last week. They're playing pretty well. CJ McCollum's coming out. Playing really, really beautifully. Robert Covington, I think he had a great block to end the game last week, which was awesome within itself. So Portland, they've been playing better defense. They are number 7. Number 6, the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, I'm not sold on Milwaukee just yet. I know it's the early season woes for most of the teams, for at least the season's previous playoff teams. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to stay they are going to move up from 8 to 6 because, again, they've been playing really, really well. A slip-up game against Utah, but nonetheless, again, trying to implement Jrue Holiday and all those other players that they got. So, again, they will be at number 6. Number 5, the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to say the Phoenix Suns because they've been playing great basketball. Chris Paul's magic has been really, really working. I've stressed this many, many times on this show before, how great Chris Paul is. He's my 3rd favorite player. The Chris Paul magic has been working. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, sorry. They've been playing really, really well together. Again, they are 7-4. Their 4 losses, again, are against good teams, and also they've made silly mistakes towards the end of games. Number 4, the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers take number 4. They stay number 4, because of their loss to Phoenix and their loss to Sacramento. But again, those are both close losses. Lost pretty closely, haven't been blown out just yet so far this season. That's why they retain number 4. I do think they also are 7-4. They did trade Victor Oladipo, so it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works with Chris LeVert. Number 3, the LA Clippers. The LA Clippers last week had a great week. I think they were 2-1. Their loss was to Golden State off a back-to-back against Golden State. So Golden State got them on the second game. The Clippers have been playing really, really great. Their new additions, again, weren't like amazing additions that you think are great. But again, good pieces to put around Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They've been playing really, really good. Ty Lue, an amazing coach. Again, he knows how to work with superstars. All right, number 2, the Philadelphia 76ers. They did lose to Brooklyn and Denver last week. I do think losing to Brooklyn, they lost without obviously with Brooklyn without having KD or Kyrie, it's, one of those weekday slip-up games where they, are riding high, but they give up a game because, it happens to all the good teams on a Tuesday, Wednesday night game where the other team doesn't have a really good team with them. And it's just one of those games where you come off a big weekend and, you fall asleep a little bit on defense and no one really shakes it up. But again, for a team like Philadelphia who's trying to reestablish themselves, this loss may hurt them along the lines at the end of the season. So Philadelphia will stay number 2 because they are, I think, 7-4 or 8-4. Play really, really well. Had a good win against Miami. And we know how good Miami is. So Philadelphia at number 2. Number 1, again, the champions, the current reigning champions, the Lakers. They've had a pretty good week. Last week, they did lose to San Antonio off last Thursday. That was before a back-to-back. So, those back-to-backs are hard, especially for good teams that have veterans that need rest or, kind of play like 60 to 80% off a back-to-back. So I will give the Lakers a slip here because, again, they played Houston twice this past weekend and obliterated them in both games. So, again, when it matters, that team will show up. The Lakers are 9-3, the best record in the league right now. They've gotten off to a great start, unlike the other teams that, had so much promise this year so far. So, again, the Lakers will remain number 1, and that is the top 10. Again, the top 4 stayed the same. Orlando got bounced out of the top 10, as well as Brooklyn and the Pelicans got bounced out of the top 10. Boston, Charlotte, and Utah entered the top 10 this week. Those are the top 10. I'm assuming that we can move on from here on out. These are more accurate than the ESPN rankings because ESPN bases it off of their record mostly and a lot of who the media likes. Mine was more unbiased and more accurate predictions. So there you go. Again, when I talk about being more accurate about my predictions, typically what sportscasters do is they rank teams, how the media likes them, good storylines. Mine is just more based off of the top 10 teams at this moment. If the playoffs were to start, who are the top 10 teams? A lot of these teams, in fact, all of these teams are currently in the playoff picture. Those are the top 10 teams, and it would be very, very obvious if the playoffs started today on those top 10 teams. That's why I do it week by week. I don't base it off of, okay, well, they were in the playoffs last year, so I have to give them a spot in the top 10. No, it's this year's rankings. That's basically what I mean when I say other areas like, Sports Center, ESPN is kind of inaccurate because they base it off of who they like better. But as of right now, the teams that are playing great basketball right now, top 10 teams in the league right now, that's basically what this ranking is based off of. But anyways, thank you for joining me. I will be back next week with my week 4 rankings, and I will see you guys then.